welcome once again. All Takes Valid, episode 56. As always, I go by Trill Trayy. Joined once again with SB21 or Spence and my
Here.
main man Vick Minum. Vick, go ahead and give him a rundown of today's episode.
Well, for today's episode, as you can see in my background, we're going to pop it off with Kevin Durant. Latest news on him and his injury, followed by Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team's favorite, this channel's favorite team, as we are going to get a dive into our Tampa Bay Buccaneers and tell the fans, which the majority is probably Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans too. Don't at me. Comment, comment your team names at the bottom of this video. And then finally, we'll finish off with our top 5 receivers in this 2021 prospect. So we'll be giving our breakdown from 1 to 5, or if y'all want, 5 to 1. So with that being said, Kevin Durant, he recently got injured. He was driving to the basket, and Trevor Ariza, his knee hit right into Kevin Durant's thigh, which therefore caused a thigh contusion. Now, I could say first things first, I have experience in that, but before I give my dive into it, Spence, you're usually our NBA guy. What are your thoughts about this?
I mean, it sucks after, the guy that you pulled for and LaMarcus Aldridge says, you know what? I'm done, guys. I'm sorry. I'm done. So now he's out. So he's out indefinitely. James Harden, I don't believe played this game because I think he's injured. So that's like, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's all right. Kyrie, I think Kyrie played this game, but he's now becoming kind of here and there every once in a while. And now the first person that you really fought for in Kevin Durant to make this whole Brooklyn Nets championship dream come true is now out again. Now, if I'm the Nets fans, I'm worried. Why? Because now everything that you guys built so much to have is now falling apart before the most important stretch in the NBA season. Now, according to reports, this is not as serious as it could be, but at this time of the NBA season is going, games are dwindling down, playoff games are coming up. So ranking is now getting very much important. Everybody's losing their star players. The injury bug is hitting quick. So health is the main focus right now. So if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, you guys have to just hold on and just and just brace yourself because it's going to be a very bumpy stretch. So probably one of your superstars come back.
Okay, Trey.
So, yeah, Kevin Durant with the injury. Everybody saw that. Two things quickly. I just want to go ahead and shout out that boy Big Shot Bam out of Bio. Because don't matter who out there on the floor, we had injuries in the finals, and you see how that went. So I mean, it happens. You got to play the game, right?
Of course.
The Heat, they finished them boys.
Game blouses.
Yeah, they handled that. So, and if you look at I think the other 2 times we've already played the Nets this season, those games weren't like they didn't get blown out or nothing like that, even when KD played. So it's just like people just automatically chalking the East up to the Nets, healthy or not. Nah, y'all gotta chill. My boy's still gonna fight. But yeah, Kevin Durant being injured. So I said when I well obviously we knew he was going to Nets already since last year, but he couldn't play last year because he was coming off of an injury. But I
Yeah.
said if Kevin Durant could come back from his injury and be even half of Kevin Durant, then it's a good possibility that he'd be able to have the Nets competing for a championship. I won't say I won't say like they were automatically going to win, but competing for a
Right.
championship. Now, obviously,
Right.
add James Harden over there and some other pieces that are there as we've seen how the season's gone. Blake Griffin, uh, Aldridge went over there, but like you touched on, he did have to retire. We talked about that last show, but nonetheless, they got firepower, right? But like you said, at the kind of like the key point in the season right now, where the season's winding down, he's now out. Now, like you said, while it doesn't seem to be serious from what they're saying, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna come back and play. But you remember, think about that finals when he was initially injured. Not saying it's just to the same magnitude, but so let's say playoffs come around, he's not 100% yet. Maybe he's 75, 80%. He comes back because it's the playoffs. You want to have all hands on deck. And let's say he aggravates it to the point where it does become serious. So it's just like you got to kind of be mindful with that. To me, honestly, at this point, Harden and Kyrie should be able to step up and carry the load. I'd rest him as much as possible and monitor it up until the playoffs because ultimately you want him for the playoffs. The regular season at this point doesn't matter, and if this team is as good as everybody's saying they are, seeding's not going to matter. It shouldn't matter, right? They should beat everybody in the East. So if you lose a couple games without him, and you drop lower, okay. As long as you get into playoffs, I don't think it should really matter, right? From what everybody's saying, it's like a foregone conclusion that the Nets are going to be the NBA champion. So I don't see the rush in trying to bring him back. But while we were talking about the injury, that's one thing. But there's something else about Kevin Durant that I think a lot of people saw this week. So that's what I wanted to more so talk about. Now there was a clip that going around online. So the clip is kind of misleading actually, if you actually watch the whole thing. So he went on a podcast this week, $1 million worth of game with Gilly the Kid and Wallow. Pretty decent, pretty good podcast. Check them out. But nonetheless, they started out fresh out the gate. They asked him top 5 players he's ever played with, in which he then went on to name. He said Kyrie, James Harden, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and then he kind of had to think about it for a second, and he said Serge Ibaka, and they were kind of like confused, as most people would be, and they pretty much asked him. They were like, "Or they pretty much stated that oh,
Yeah.
okay, we thought." We thought it would have been to somebody else. And he asked, he was like, did he
Oh, is
forget
this
somebody?
somebody? Mhm.
And
No.
they were like, nah, they wasn't going to touch on it. But that's kind of how the clip ends, like online, because it's
Right.
clickbait, right?
Of
But
course.
if you continue watching it, they go ahead and say Russell Westbrook, to which KD does say that he was tripping. Now, mind you, I don't know how believable that is. If a lot of people are still saying that, he, was trying to be petty or whatever, because Serge Ibaka, like, come on now. But nonetheless, he then retracted his statement and said that he said get Serge out of there, and he actually put Russ at 4 and moved Klay Thompson to 5. But I don't know. This is just typical Kevin Durant stuff. This is kind of why he gets the backlash he does in the media and stuff, because he just does stuff like this. There's no way you forgot about Russell Westbrook realistically. And even if you did, there's no way that Serge Ibaka is a top 5 player you played with. You could have said somebody from an Olympic team, maybe an all-star game, like Serge Ibaka. Okay. Yeah, you were just trying to be petty. And I don't know what the deal is with him and Westbrook. If, as far as I knew, they're cool outside of basketball, like off the court. So it's confusing when you see them go through some of this stuff. It's weird. I just don't understand it.
All right. Well, before I get into that, I just want to give my take more so on the injury, and then I give my feedback on that. But I personally have dealt with the injury, the thigh contusion that Durant has suffered. Now, I could say it's almost similar to saying stubbing your toe on, on the corner or something, on the bedstead or whatever the case is. Just it's something like that, but it's also like not entirely like pulling your hamstring or feeling tightness in your hamstring. Yeah, more so it's probably like feeling the tightness in your hamstring, but have, getting stubbing your toe on a corner or something. But it's painful to degree, but it all depends on what grade it is. It sounds like he has a grade 1, which it's it's mild, mild bruise. It's a little bit of pain, but no swelling. If it's not as big as they're saying it is. Now, I played football in high school with that injury my whole senior year with a grade 2. So that one slightly deep is deeper than the grade 1. You have mild pain and a little swelling, but um, you have a limp. Especially with me, like I was playing football, so I had to run. I was constantly limping, but I was able to, still make tackles, still led. Actually, I was second on the team in tackles, but first in sacks. But regardless, it's a painful injury, but usually for grade 1, it's a week, a couple days to a week, maybe 2 weeks max. Grade 2 is like 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks rest. So in grade 3, same time frame, but usually for the treatment, it's just rest and applying ice to the thigh that is injured. It's just a thigh bruise. It's a soft tissue injury, so it's not something that's really uh, that big of a deal when it comes to sports injuries. It does happen. It's like one of those freak accidents in a way to say it. It's rare that somebody puts their knee or shoulder right into your thigh, but when it does happen, especially to that magnitude, yeah, it can hinder your game in some sense. But so I just wanted to say that about that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. He'll be all right, especially if it's a grade 1. Um, I say probably the next couple days, maybe at the week at the most, if they want to rest him that much, they can. But yeah, it's just one of those freak kind of injuries in a way to say, not to the extreme, but he should be all right. Now, in terms of that, what Trey was talking about with the whole list, that to me was funny. I thought it was interesting that he didn't list them. But me, I didn't take it personal. Obviously, I have nothing to do with it. But I just was like, you know what? I play with people that I'm just like, they may be, talented, and all that stuff. I don't know exactly what the question was in particular to say, if it was like his best teammates or if it was the top five best players he's ever played against. Played with. Um, but like Trey was alluding to about the Olympics, he could have. What was that, Spence?
No,
Um, okay, yeah.
Huh?
So yeah, he could have mentioned players that he's played with in the Olympics, but obviously I'm thinking he's talking about players that he's played with, but on teams outside of the Olympics. But it was still interesting to hear him not mention Westbrook in the conversation. As Trey said, as far as we know, they have a good relationship. Maybe it slipped his mind. Maybe he was thinking more so in terms of a teammate. Like he really enjoyed playing with Sergio Baca, which he's a good defender, rebounder, shot blocker. But outside of that, yeah, Russell Westbrook, he should have definitely put him in that top five. I just don't think it was, you know, a shot he was trying to take per se, but like again, each his own. Sometimes we hear players, when they mention their favorite teammate, it's usually somebody that you don't see as a starter. It's usually somebody on the bench or maybe that plays with another team that
bro,
they
he
probably
just
never
started
played
playing
with.
with Kyrie this year. Fuck
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
here.
They've been best friends for quite some time. So
So man, all right. I mean, hey, it's his list at the end of the day.
this list,
All
yeah,
takes are valid, right? So
yeah,
whatever.
it's this list.
Just a
I mean,
crazy take.
I don't know. I don't think there was any shade. Maybe he might have forgotten. There's times where it's just like you're naming off the top of the dome, like you're the top five receivers, like to say. If we used to do that off the dome, it'd probably be a player's name that we'd probably forget. Like last week when we were doing the debate, I forgot about Stephon Diggs, OBJ. But it wasn't a diss to them. It was just players that
Oh well, this
I.
lets you know none of them was gonna help you in that debate with AB. So it doesn't.
Well, Calvin Johnson was a clear answer, but
Spoiler alert.
anyways,
Spoiler alert.
uh,
It would not
hey
help you.
Spence, what's your thoughts on
This is Stephon Diggs' first Pro Bowl. Relax.
that?
Relax.
So on the list, what KD said, I have a point guard that I played for most of my early careers. We got to a finals, got to a conference championship, almost knocked out the 70, almost knocked out the 72 Warriors before I joined them. But I'm gonna put the guy that I just played for on my list. um, yeah, I'm sorry. It's just KD being petty. There's no way you can forget the guy that you were in your first finals with. How you forget that guy? It
Did you
was the
play with
same
him
guy
during
that you
playing?
almost that was the guy that you almost knocked off the Warriors before he joined. So I'm like, oh snap, I forgot about him. No, you didn't forget. He is those are the top players that he likes. West, the Russell thing, I think they're cool. I think they just tolerate each other. I don't think.
You,
I
see,
don't think. I don't think. It just
you
they
said that you
tolerate
think
each
they're
other.
cool. They're just not
I,
much.
I don't know though, because I can't say that because like when they played Washington, like before the game, they were on the sideline laughing and like you're not going out your way to do extra stuff like that if you don't like somebody. Like
Yeah.
you might go say what's up or something, but like they're like genuinely on the sideline laughing and stuff. So it's like I don't understand their relationship like that.
It's a weird one, man. It's a weird one, and
Well, I guess it's like Vic. I don't like Vic like at all, you know. So I guess that makes sense. I guess I feel
Katie.
because look, if I was asked right now my top 2 co-hosts, it'd be Spence and
All
It's
of them.
okay.
damn. Oh,
Well, you know, it's because I'm a Raiders fan, so you know,
that's hard, you
a
know.
little hatred in that.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little.
I
little
thought
hate
you.
in that.
I thought you would say. Never mind. No, nothing. I mean, I thought you would say. We're not gonna get into that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's okay.
Nah, but KD will be fine, I think. But like I said, you just want to watch it because it is getting close to playoffs, and I would hate to see what happened. What was that in 2019?
It's literally 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah. Versus the Raptors.
Mhm.
Let Robot get another ring. That cyborg Kawhi. I hate that guy. Sorry.
Why? What's wrong with Kai? You know the funny thing? I think people don't like him because he just
my dynasty. That's why. He ruined
that.
my
That's why most people hate him for. He's just a he's just a non-chill guy, just nonchalant, but he'll just destroy dynasty. He's just there to play basketball.
I would rather chill with Vick though than Kawhi because that guy, he said, I'm a fun guy. Nah.
No, I don't want to chill with you.
That's funny.
All right, so yeah, all for KD. Oh, but before we go on to the next topic real quick, that man might be coming back. There go that man mama real quick. LaMelo Ball is set to be, they say he's healed. They say he might be another week or so before he returns.
7 to 10.
And they are at the 8th spot right now. So that could be big for the Hornets.
All they have to do is just hold on. All you have to do is hold on the best as you can. Just hold on. If you're able to hold on, get these wins as best you can, you never know, Hornets. Y'all might see a playoff.
I mean, I think he deserves to get to play in the playoffs after what he did this season. And to be honest, I know we talked about it when he first got hurt and he was gonna be out for the year. I was like, oh, there probably goes his rookie of the year. But if we're being real, it hasn't really been a rookie that
has been done.
Like you've had this whole time to go out there
get your name,
build your name up. If he comes back and he looks how he looked before he left, I think he's still rookie of the year. Who else? Like
if he comes back,
there's been I guess some flashes from some of these kids, but none of them have been consistent at all.
No.
Well, there's one thing that I want to say. Shout out to LaMelo Ball's trainer, Tiana Trump. I don't know what you're doing, girl, but you're getting that ball back on the court.
No.
I think most of her work has nothing to do with his wrist.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
that potion.
there is wrist work, but just not his. But anyways,
I like that.
Just saying.
I don't know if she needs her wrist. All right.
All right.
All right. On to the next topic.